Welcome to the Black Belt Newscast. I'm Cindy Fisher, publisher.
I'm Todd Prater, reporter.
Yes, every week we come to you guys with the top headlines out of the Black Belt and in all the counties that we cover here. And we have a really busy lineup of news going on this week, August 18. So let's get started.
Let's get to it.
All right, our first story. Let's talk about Kay Ivey being in the Black Belt. She is from Camden, and she made a trip here earlier this week. What did she do?
Well, she went to visit the ABC school and J.E. Hobbs Elementary School to promote reading to the kids. She gave them books that was actually about farm to table food. So it was kind of a dual purpose. The kids learn where their food comes from and learn the importance of reading. She's very a staunch proponent for getting the kids to learn to read well. She says a good students make a good Alabama, so she wants them to read. She also went to the Cahaba Medical Center, which has a number of centers around the state. They have a special program to train doctors, and 4 new doctors that are in training. They're going to be in Camden for 2 years, and it was a big celebration to welcome them to Camden. But see, they also serve not just Wilcox County, but they also serve Perry County. So this is good for the Black Belt in general. And of course, the details of the story are at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com.
That's a great visit. And rural health care is a big thing. We've got Vaughn Regional Medical here in Selma. We've got Whitfield Regional Hospital in Demopolis. Paul Jones there in Camden. So I know there's a lot of efforts to recruit doctors and healthcare workers in the Black Belt. So that's great to hear.
And that's what the Frontiers Track program through the Cahaba Medical Center is all about, is recruiting doctors to stay and work in rural areas.
That's awesome. But we have another topic here. We had a laptop giveaway. Tell us more about that.
50 students were given laptops. 50 underprivileged students and their families were given the laptops. They came from AT&T, AT&T, Human IT, and the Black Belt Community Foundation. They gave them to help them get more digitally. They said they want to help to cross the digital divide or fill the digital gap. It's for these kids to use and their families to use for education and just to help a better quality of life, because in the world today, as they point out, everything is computerized. The mayor even made a great point. I don't know how many times you fussed at your kids about playing those computer games. Get off that stupid computer. Play all those games. But the mayor says, even when you play those games, if you learn how to make the games, if you learn how to program and design the games, that computer, as he puts it, is not a toy, it's a tool.
Yes, I love that.
Good point.
Yes, awesome.
So these kids got those computers to use as a tool, not to play with as a toy.
We have another story about the candy factory. I know that it has had a lot of damage in the January 12th tornado in Selma. What are the plans for renovation?
Well, for the longest time, it's been a reminder of January 12th, but it won't be long now that it's going to be a reminder of what a Phoenix Selma can be, pulling itself up from these ashes. Lewis Atkins, who was an officer on the Selma Police Department, has bought the building, and he was actually beginning his renovations when the tornado hit. He has gotten a loan from the SBA. They have stepped in a big way, the Small Business Administration, to help him not only renovate, but to rebuild and renovate and make an entertainment center that's going to be safe for kids. He's going to put a number of different entertainment things to do. All the details at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com, that it's going to be a fun place. And he says a safe place for kids and adults alike, because since he's on the police force, he's going to have a lot of his police department friends hanging out, and they're going to be security guards for him too. So a lot to look forward to. Yeah, that's great.
SBA has really come through a lot, and FEMA. I know we got some help from SBA as well for this bridge as we grow and continue to stay on our feet after the tornado. So we're so appreciative of what SBA is doing for the Selma community.
Well, one of the things they said in the press conference was that they're not just there for disasters. They help businesses with a number of different programs. So if you have a business or you want to start a business, they suggested you start by checking with the SBA, Small Business Administration.
Yeah, and that was my first encounter really with the SBA. Besides, I've done a few like mentoring sessions that was really helpful for women business owners. That's based out of Clanton. They've got a new Catalyst Business Center. So I think SBA really does try. Sometimes it's hard for them to get the word out of what they do until you have something like a disaster. So it's really neat that they've come through like that. Well, let's go to Demopolis for a sec.
Yeah,
we have a longtime court employee who has retired. Tell us about Karen.
Karen Broadhead has been the Demopolis court clerk for 42 years. One of the sweetest ladies you'll meet. She was actually wanting to become a police officer, but was convinced she should work in the court reporter's office. She did so, and she decided it was time to leave now after 42 years. So Thursday, the 17th, was her last day. And, of course, all the details on that are on the story at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. But you wouldn't meet a sweeter person. And really what's cool is her husband, Alan Broadhead, he's run the grocery stores in Demopolis for 100 years. And he's retiring, I believe it's next Tuesday. So within a couple of days. So both of them
party time for that family.
Yeah, there you go. Kick back and enjoy life now. You know.
There you go. Actually, so Mayor Woody Collins in Demopolis last night at the council meeting gave a shout out to Karen and wishing her well. And they celebrated yesterday for her and her last day.
She's a sweet lady. Sweet lady.
Let's stay in Demopolis for a minute.
Okay.
I want to talk about the fountain. They have a 130-year-old fountain that was taken out last month in July, and they sent it away to a specialist to renovate, and it came back yesterday. Big day for Demopolis yesterday, Thursday. They put it back in and reinstalled it yesterday, and now they redid the plumbing that leads to it, and this is in Town Square, so it's that very popular spot. Beautiful area that and so when they redid the plumbing, they have not put in the water yet, so they haven't turned it back on. So so I was there yesterday just right after they reinstalled the pieces, and it looks shiny and new, but it was actually first installed in 1895, and then it was taken out in 1995 at the 100th anniversary. Yeah, to redo it then. And so this is the next time that they have taken it out and done some repairs and fixes. So it's really nice to have a little landmark like that people will recognize and go see.
You know that is the oldest town square in the state of Alabama. It is the oldest continuous town square in the state of Alabama. When Demopolis was founded in 1817, that block was marked as the town square, and it has been ever since.
Yeah, could you imagine being there in 1817 and now?
1817. Awesome. Settled by Napoleonic exiles who, when Napoleon did his thing, they got sent over here because they weren't allowed to live in France anymore. And they wanted to start a vine and olive colony and grow olives and grapes. But they did not know enough about it and didn't realize the soil is not good for that.
But we have black soil, and hence the name Black Belt, that was good for so many other things to grow here.
And that's why we love it here.
And why we are an agricultural capital. Yeah, awesome. I love the history.
Me too.
All right, now let's talk about roads.
Yeah, roads and intersections.
Highway 8041 intersection. We've heard a lot about this.
Yeah, and they started working on it. It's been 3 or 4 months ago, and it slowed down for a little while. They kicked it back up, and it looks like next week, which would be, let's see, today, as we're recording this, is the 18th. It'll be Tuesday, the 22nd. They'll change the signals over to the new alignment, and then soon after that, we'll be using it.
Well, let's hear this report that you actually filed for us earlier this week.
Let's hear it. The Highway 80-41 intersection at the end of the bypass is nearing completion. According to AlDOT, Tuesday, August 22nd, the traffic signals are scheduled to be switched over to the new alignment. By the end of the week, traffic itself begins to use the new alignment. A final surface treatment will be applied in a few weeks, but that shouldn't affect traffic. Then the old road surface will be taken up and some landscaping done. I'm Todd Prater, Black Belt News Network. Check us out at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
See, that was a great report, Todd. Thank you. It's like
God willing, the creeks don't rise. It'll be a new alignment. It'll be so much nicer.
I think that's great, and we appreciate that report from actually being on the ground. That's the thing, is you and I are on the ground in the Black Belt every day. If you ever want to see what's going on in the Black Belt, go to blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. And
of course, if you have an event that you know about, or you got some news you want to let us know, give us a news tip. We'll listen to you.
That's right. Send it to news@blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. And also, we want to thank our sponsors. Let's thank our sponsors. We can't do this without you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Yes, Randall Miller Funeral Service and Crematorium. They have such a great service. Check them out in Selma, but they do so much more. And of course, follow us. We are on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And of course, blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. That is this week's edition of the Black Belt Newscast. Tune in next week. You have an ad. Oh, yeah, we put a podcast up. So at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com/podcast, there's also a button for podcasts that we now have this and other things available as a podcast. And you had an event you wanted to plug.
Yeah, and I'm doing a new podcast series called In the Black Belt. So those will be up real soon too. So we'll find out what's going on in the Black Belt.
Absolutely. Tune in for this and much more. We will see you guys next week. Let us know what you want us to cover at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. See you next week.
Yeah.